set. Please rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome those in our audience and those that are watching on cable. First item on our agenda, minutes of budget hearing of March 5th, 2011. Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the March 5th, 2011 budget hearing, minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Next item is public comment. Anyone in the audience here for public comment? I'll skip one more time. Anyone in the audience here for public comment? Next item is appointments for Taxation Aid Committee. Mr. O'Leary.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following names for appointment as members on the Taxation Aid Committee for terms to expire on December 31st, 2013. There are 4 openings. One, Mary Ann McKay, the Town Treasurer, and 2, Debbie Carboni, Assessing Manager.
Motion by Mr. O'Leary.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Prisco. Discussion. Mr. O'Leary?
This is just to, these 2 positions are actually mandated to be on the committee, and we have a couple of other openings that we're working on getting filled.
Do you know what the balance in the fund is right now?
I want to say 18, around 18,000, 14,000, something like that.
For your sake and Jeff's, I
Yeah.
think. Some time ago, this fund was put together to help alleviate those in need for tax relief.
Right.
And some money was collected, accumulated, and nothing has been done or distributed.
No distributions have been made as of
As
yet.
long as I've been on the board, as far as
What
I
we'd like to do is
know.
get this thing resurrected again and going forward. And maybe use some of the funds to help promote the program if it's possible, and see if we can raise some more revenue and then establish some sort of mechanism to start distributing the funds.
Is there a policy or procedure to how to go through so someone can actually go through it?
Not clear.
Not clear.
Not clear. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing resurrected and going again.
That's good.
Any other questions?
I just have one.
Yes, Michael.
One of the things that we were working on in the FAC a long time ago was this trash abatement. And maybe I'm actually mixing apples and oranges here, but...
You are, but I think that Craig is addressing.
I'm interested in it
okay.
also.
I was thinking maybe this may be a good area for it to go. That's all.
Weren't you going to talk about that in your report?
I'd like to hear the department budgets first before I offer specific
right, you did say
recommendations.
Okay. Thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we have some season license renewals. Thompson Club, Inc., PA, Pro Shop, Hillview Snacks, Robert Thomas, CNR Dream Dogs. And we got a Signee ABBC renewal certification and seasonal estimate. Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the seasonal wine and malt beverage club license for the Thompson Country Club, Inc., doing business as Pro Shop, 2 Mid-Iron Drive, to expire December 31st, 2011, subject to all regulatory department requirements.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Just a question for the town administrator. They're all paid up.
The 2 licenses that are on the agenda are all set, all paid for. All the requirements have been met with the departments.
Further discussion? Hearing none. On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the common vicular license for GFMI Hillview Snacks, 149 North Street, to expire December 31st, 2011, subject to all regulatory department requirements.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion, anybody? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to sign the ABCC 2011 seasonal renewal certification.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to sign the ABCC 2011 seasonal estimate form.
Second?
We miss one?
Oh,
It's
Lay out of order.
just a little out of order.
Oh.
It's all right, we could
Okay.
do that.
this is the last one I have.
We should have
Unless
some-
maybe I attached it to.
We should have some transit vendors with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Prisco.
I just need a second.
A second?
Oh, you did, I'm sorry.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion?
Can you,
Prisco?
can you just briefly tell me what a seasonal estimate form is?
Mr. Bellicone?
It's the ABCC allows the town to issue seasonal licenses based upon population, and it's just a matter of documenting that we have
Got
a
it.
certain population.
Thank you.
In some communities, like down the Cape,
Mm-hmm.
Goes way up.
Right.
but, fluctuates.
Makes sense. Thank you for explaining that.
On the motion, all in
They
favor?
get thirstier, there's a lot of
Mm.
people.
Sorry, any further discussion? Jumping the gun here. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Greg, were there supposed to be some other additional items in this for us to?
No, the two other licenses have not been, they haven't submitted their paperwork yet.
Okay.
Right, so they'll be on the next agenda.
Which, is that the CR?
Yes.
CR, okay,
Yeah,
so
they
they
owe
just,
us, they owe us
all right.
paperwork.
Okay, all right, so that's where I thought you had missed one. Do we want to go to the town administrator's report?
Sure.
I guess we don't want to start the budget hearing until 7:30, right?
Sounds good to me.
One more for you to sign.
Please refer to the yellow copy that's in your, was submitted late this afternoon. As you know, the fire chief has indicated that he will be retiring on April 15th, and I have a duty to appoint an acting fire chief during the period of time before we hire a permanent position. The job is covered under civil service, which means that we do need to hire according to the civil service rules. You have a copy of the posting. I'll be accepting applications through the end of this week, and making a decision on a timely basis and informing the board along the way prior to the Chief Harris retiring on the 15th of April. So I did want to inform you that the process is underway for the acting position. The full-time position, there's some additional work. I need to have some additional discussions with the board relative to that position. But certainly we need to proceed with hiring an acting position and doing so in a fairly quick basis.
Questions for town administrator? Mr. O'Leary.
Just in relation to Chief Harris's decision to retire. For me, it's untimely. You know, it's, Richie's done a terrific job as chief. He's had a terrific career as a firefighter here in North Reading and contributed greatly to the safety of the community. And, you know, I wish him well. I called him and tried to encourage him to reconsider. I'll do that publicly. Richie, reconsider. We'd love to have you stay around a little bit longer, but I understand, you know, he's looking to move on and do something else, and he's somewhat concerned with the way things are unfolding right now due to the budgetary constraints that we're under, and I fully understand. But I wish him well. I certainly appreciate his service. He's been a good friend and neighbor and citizen of the community and a great public servant. So I wish him extremely well in his upcoming retirement.
Mr. Prisco.
Yeah, I as well stopped by and sat with the chief, and I am somewhat disappointed he is going to go, but I do understand his situation and why his rationale for leaving, and I do respect that. So I do wish him as well as also. But I had a question in regards to the job opening, Greg. So is there a chance that you bring in an acting fire chief that could transition into the fire chief's job, or is that no?
It's two different
Okay.
things altogether. The first appointment, the permanent appointment is subject to a civil service exam.
Okay.
So the acting position is not subject to those constraints. But the results of the examination remain to be seen whether that person will even pass or will even be interested.
Because
And when you say exam, that can be an exam, or it could be
Assessment.
An assessment center, right. We used an assessment center when Chief Harris was hired 4 years ago. And I frankly would look at doing the same thing this time. I think it benefits in terms of identifying the skills and the knowledge necessary to be a chief versus just a strict written examination. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily indicative of the skills to be a manager. And I know that the chairman had participated in the assessment center the last time as individual who was aware, and I thought it went really well in terms of identifying the strengths of each of the candidates.
For the record, I was very much opposed to just an exam and a test score, because it leaves so much out.
right.
And
I think you're right.
we ran the assessment center. I thought it went quite well. And I would urge that we continue to use that process. It's still within the guidelines of civil service.
Yeah.
Right.
There are only certain qualified people that run an assessment center. I mean, it's not like you're skirting around and saying we're going to interview a bunch of people and call it an assessment center. It doesn't work that way.
Well, the reason why I asked the question because I looked at the salary range that you have here. It is somewhat low, I would think, for a fire chief's job. Which,
Yeah.
but if it's just for an acting and it's only going to be acting,
That's
has no chance
that's
of,
considered to be the base. There are different other stipends that come into effect. The base is competitive with the base that when Chief Harris was selected as the interim, it's consistent with that basis.
Very good. Thank you for explaining that.
If there's nothing further, I can move on to the second item on my report, and that's a draft copy of the invitation for bids for emergency ambulance service. I've included a cover letter with it because I think there's a couple of things that we should be aware of. And I want to thank Chief Harris for really spearheading this process. But the recommendations that are included in here specify certain response times, and I would suggest that that's probably a key item that we want to look at before we finalize this document and put it out on the street. You'll see that the chief has recommended a 6-minute response time for 85% of the calls. The second thing is the location of the ambulance. With a private service, both of our opinion that it needs to be garaged in a location central to the community, and the bid specification has that the recommendation to be 1 mile. That may be somewhat restrictive considering the center of town doesn't have that many opportunities. So those are the two things that as you go through the bid document and you read through it, you may want to kind of keep in mind that as we increase competition by those items, we probably will do better in terms of bid proposals that do come in.
Mr. Prisco.
So when you say the restriction be a mile,
Right.
so are you saying it's unreasonable to say that they should have one in our fire station?
Oh yeah, I think that's not doable. Physically, there's not
Really?
enough space there's not enough space in the building.
We have one in there now, don't we?
But we're
2 in there now. Thank you.
the question is, where do you put the personnel?
It's a personnel issue, Michael.
Okay.
Would be a good idea to have. First of all, the space is tight to begin with.